Hey, hot doggers! I'm Dan, and this is 52 Weeks of Dogging, a weekly series where every week we're going to discuss a new topic that teaches you how to start and run your own hot dog cart business. This week we're going to talk about inspecting a used cart. So you've gone through the permit process. You know what you have to have on your cart, what you can and can't have. You talked to the city. You've talked to the health department. Now all you need to do is find a cart and apply for your permits. If you're not going the used route or the new route, you're going to go the used. And I'm going to walk you through right now what you need to look for, because I have experience and I've actually got a couple of videos that we're going to refer to on my channel. So if you want to go back and watch these videos, you're more than welcome to, that walks you through my experience in buying a used cart. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to full screen here, and I'm going to the cart that I'm using here is a big dog cart from Hot Dog Cart Store. It's a used big dog cart. It was at the time that I bought it, I want to say it was probably 3 or 4 years old. It had been used quite a bit, and it did need some repairs, and I'm going to walk you through that as well. As far as what to look for and how to know what it's going to be repaired. If it needs repaired, well, I'll tell you, it's not hard to fix anything on any of these carts. There's not a lot to them, and I'll point some of the stuff out to you as we go along. So starting with the cart, you had all these pans. The pans were nasty, dirty, looked like they hadn't been washed in years. I did end up replacing most of them. But it did come with pans, and it came with an umbrella. So you'll see that this shelf here was custom. The shelf that the pans are sitting on was custom made, and it was put on the cart after it was purchased. It was put on the cart by somebody else. So that shelf generally would not be on a big dog cart. Although it should be. Ben, if you're watching this, hint, hint. It was an excellent use of space. So first thing you're going to want to do is look at the wheels, okay? Wheels and tires. I did not look at the wheels and tires when I bought it. That was my mistake. This wheel, it looks okay. But he had just aired it up. It had a hole. The tire had a hole in it. It had a leak. So I ended up having to get a new tire for this side, actually. Not really any way you can check that unless you get down and spray the tire with water or soapy water and look for bubbles. I mean, if you want to do that, go ahead. For me, he aired the tire up before I got there, so I didn't know it had a leak, and it lasted a couple of days. I drove it 2 hours home, and it lasted a few days before I even realized it had a leak in it. So, the tire itself, I got at Walmart for I think it was $50-$60, and they're easy. Couple of bolts, take off, put the new tire on. It was simple replacement, cheap replacement. I wasn't complaining about it at all. I almost forgot that that was even a thing. Also, you'll see this little silver cap here in the middle of the tire. If it's missing that silver cap, you're going to have to likely put new bearings in it or repack the bearings. Again, not an incredibly expensive job. I had to replace the bearing. The bearings were fine on this one when I bought it, but about a year after I bought it, I had to take it and get the bearings redone. I had all new bearings put in both sides, and it cost me, I think, $200 from a mechanic. I just took it to a mechanic, and he put all the bearings in and everything. It cost me $200 for both sides. So fairly cheap repair. But if that silver cap is missing, chances are you're going to have to replace the bearings in the wheel, in the tire. So just keep that in mind. It's not a deal breaker, or it shouldn't be a deal breaker. It is a good negotiation point though. So if you see that silver cap missing, you might be able to knock them down a little bit if you're going to have to replace the bearings. You can see this one, the shelf in the back was bent down a little bit from people leaning on the shelf. That was a common issue that I had. Even I had that issue with people. I'd serve them hot dogs. They go stand on the front of at the front of the cart and lean on the shelf. That's going to be a common thing. Kind of hard. It's not. You're not going to be able to completely stop it, and it's not really. I mean, obviously, it's bending the shelf down a little bit, but a bent shelf is not a deal breaker. It's a used cart. You can't expect brand new condition. I took all the stickers and Velcro off once I purchased the cart and got it back home. Stickers and Velcro, it's completely up to you. If you want to keep it, save it, whatever. If you open the side door, there should be 2 gas lines on this particular model cart. There should be 2 gas lines in here. One goes to the steam table burners. The other tank, which is on that side of the tank, that side of this tank, there's a second tank in there that goes up to the grill, which you'll see here in a minute on the other side. You can see this is sitting on jack stands. I did have to put a new wheel jack on it, which is basically the same as any kind of, you can get it from any kind of trailer store. Walmart has them. They're just third wheel jacks that you can put on there. So I did have to do that. It cost me like $40. You can get them at auto stores too. So there's that, and then you'll see here, that's the water heater right there. You'll want to make sure that now on the door on this side, let me go back here a little bit. There's a door down here, just like there is on the other side for the propane. There's another door down here. You're going to want to open that door. That should be your fresh water tank and your water pump. Both of those are going to be on this side here, and then the water lines go through and up into the sink and the water heater. So you'll want to turn on the water pump and check the water out. Make sure that the hot water heater is working. There's a switch on the bottom of the hot water heater that you'll run. Most of them run off of D batteries. But on the bottom of the heater, right around the middle, there's a switch to turn it on. That's where your batteries go, D batteries. Or C batteries maybe. You'll put batteries in there, flip on that switch, and you should have hot water when you turn on the sink. There's also going to be a battery down on the side of the cart where the fresh water tank is. There should be a small 12-volt battery that powers the pump. This guy, I didn't get to check the water because this guy said that he didn't charge the battery. The battery was dead. Come to find out, I ended up having to replace the battery and the water heater. The water heater was busted. It did not work, so I ended up having to replace the battery and the water heater. Again, not a deal breaker. These water heaters are so easy to break. The slightest cold temperature and the pipes in there are so thin that the slightest amount of water can freeze and bust the water heater. They're $100, $120 to replace. Just a couple of bolts. Unscrew the water lines down here, put the new one on, and then hang it back up. It's really easy, really easy. Again, $100, $120. Not a deal breaker, not a big deal. Water pump. If your water pump is not working, Um, Let me back up. So you'll want to take a 12-volt battery with you. Any kind of car battery, lawn and garden battery, tractor battery, even if it's a power wheel battery. Take some kind of fully charged 12-volt battery with you, because if the people say, "Oh, well, I didn't charge the battery," okay, no problem. I've got a battery here. You can test all of this stuff before you decide whether or not you're going to buy it. Um, Had I had a battery, I could have tested it. I would have known the water pump was out, and I would have known that the water heater didn't work. I could have probably knocked them down about $1,000 with everything that I later found out was busted and broken. Um, so I did have to replace this. I did have to replace the water pump, which was down in that cubby hole on the opposite side of the propane tanks, next to the freshwater tank. The water pump might have a switch on it. Most of them do, that you have to reach down there and turn the switch on. If that's the case, just reach down there. It's just a flip of a switch, turns on. You'll hear the pump kick on to tighten up the water pressure, and then it'll kick back off. Then you turn on the sinks. You'll turn on the hot and cold water separately. If your water pump works, you turn on the water heater, and you're going to turn on the hot water first. If it doesn't get hot, you're going to need a new water heater. Turn on the cold water, turn off the hot water, and then turn on the cold water. If you're not getting cold water, likely it's going to be cold water comes straight from the water pump, so likely it's going to be a water pump issue. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to make sure that the water pump and the water heater both are on and powered up. You're going to need a small 12-volt battery and 2 C batteries or D batteries, depending on the model of water heater. Again, even if both of those are out, you're going to spend $200 to fix the whole problem, fix your entire water system. Not a deal breaker, but it gives you more power in negotiation. The grill, you can see the grill should have a drip tray at the bottom. I didn't know that until after I bought this. This was my first cart with a grill on it, so it should have a drip tray. That's a drip tray right there. If it doesn't have a drip tray, your city might not approve your cart. They are supposed to have drip trays to keep the grease from dripping down onto city property. So that's that. Then you have burners. Let's get into the burners. Yeah, you can see those pans were a complete and utter disgusting mess. The burners, we had some problems getting them to light and stay lit. And you can see they're kind of only half lit as it is. The knobs are all the way up, but they're still only half lit. And you'll want to have them light everything up at the same time. So long as if you light everything up at the same time and you see issues like this where it's only half lit, that's gonna tell you that there's an issue with the gas line somewhere. And yeah, so the water pump did work. That's what it was. The water pump did work, and the water heater did not. There you go. That's the water pump up there on the wall. Well, let me go back to it here. That's your freshwater tank. The blue tank is your freshwater tank. You can see the water pump right. I don't know why I'm pointing with my finger. That's your water pump right there, and there's a switch right up here that you turn it on. There's a small battery back here. He said was dead, which is why the pump flow, it wasn't flowing. It wasn't full force flowing. He said the battery was dead. I did end up having to get a new battery though. So you can see there, more nasty pans. And I did buy it. Don't mind the bricks in there. That was to kind of keep it stable. While I was towing it, it was a 2-hour drive on the highway. So to keep it from swaying back and forth, they actually put the bricks in there. So something else you'll want to look for, this pin right here. The pin that connects the removable hitch should be a full-fledged metal or steel pin, aluminum, some kind of thick pin, trailer pin, or a hitch pin is what it's called. So you'll want to make sure that they didn't just shove a stick down in there or use a pencil or an ink pen. I've seen people try to use those and it blows my mind. I don't know. But you'll want to check that and make sure that it's got a full-fledged hitch pin in there, and you'll want to make sure that it's got 2 safety chains underneath the hitch. So you'll need 2 safety chains underneath. Yeah, that's a requirement for all towed trailers. You have to have safety chains on it. You'll want to check your brake lights and turn signals, your tail lights and turn signals. You can see on this one, they're not on. They didn't work. I had to have the wiring for the trailer. The trailer's wiring was pulled off of it. They didn't use it. They never needed it. So I don't know how they didn't need it if they ever towed it anywhere. But they basically just ripped off the light, the wiring for the light that connects your trailer to the truck. So I had to have that put back on. You'll want to check your gas connections up here. The starter on gas grills, on these gas grills, these are outdoor camping grills. Literally every single one of these that I've bought or replaced, the starters have never worked, ever. I don't know if it's me, I don't know why, I don't know if they're just not connected and I'm not connecting them right, but they've never worked. Even on brand new ones that I've purchased and had to use to replace these. They've never worked. So you'll likely have, there's little holes down here, or you can open the grill up and stick a long nose lighter down in there to actually light the grill with a lighter. You'll turn on the gas, you'll put your lighter in there, and poof, it'll light up. So that's where that goes. Again, I did get the umbrella with it. That was the front wheel that I did end up having to replace. Again, you can get that from Walmart, Tractor Supply, lots of different places. So that's some of the stuff you're going to look for. Let me go to the burners. You remember on that video where the burners were only half lit? The gas line on that video, this is after I replaced it, okay? So I fixed it. These are all brand new burners. That's what it was. That's what it looked like. All 3 burners were completely broken off, disconnected from the gas line. And you can see at some points, it looks like they tried to seal it with some kind of, I don't know, Bondo or something that they tried to use to keep the burner onto the old gas rail. I ended up having to replace this rail, all 3 knobs, and all 3 burners. And you see the difference. You see that you can see it's a night and day difference in that flame. Night and day difference. And And you can see down here, this is all that's a brand new rail. It's all one piece. Let me get that out of the way. I just unscrewed the gas line there. There's 2 screws that connect each burner to the rails, or to the rail. There's 2 screws on each burner that connects the burner to the rail, and then there's this bolt and that bolt that connects the burner to the cart itself. Extremely simple fix. Just once you unscrew the gas line here, you take the knobs off of the front, unscrew the knobs from the front, and the whole thing just comes right out. It's extremely simple fix, fairly cheap. I think in parts I had maybe $150 in everything. New burners, new gas rail, maybe 150, probably closer to $150 to replace all 3 burners and that gas rail, or the fuel rail. And you can see this was brand new burners, brand new gas line. I had a brand new water heater on it at this point. It was like night and day. It was literally a brand new cart, and I maybe had $500 in it. I had an all brand new water system and an all brand new burner system for $500. So, and I turned the flame down a little bit. That's why that went down. See, yeah, you can see there's just it's night and day. There's no unlit. There's no unlit portions of the burners. They're all flamed up, and that's what you want to see. You want to see yellow flame, not just a little blue flame. You want to see yellow flame. You want to turn it all the way up. Make sure that the whole burner, the entire burner, is lit. If not, there's a chance there's going to be a gas leak, or your propane tank. The propane tank is likely empty. And that could be a cause as well, so you'll want to check that. So outside of that, I think check for water pressure for the pump. You're going to check the water heater, tow bar for the pin, tires and hubs, brake lights, turn signals, pans and umbrellas. Like I said, if you buy a brand new cart, it comes with pans. So there's no reason that they should not have pans to at least give you, regardless of what condition it's in. Pans and an umbrella. All carts should come with an umbrella and pans unless it's an enclosed cart. So I'll tell you this much. Every cart is basically going to be the same. Let me come back here. Every cart is basically going to have the same setup, whether it's an enclosed cart, a different manufacturer, whatever the case may be. They're all going to have these same components, the exact same components. They're all going to have burners. They're all going to have gas lines. They're all going to have water heaters, and they all work the same. Either no matter what way you look at them. So these are going to be some of the things that you're going to want to look for when you're going to inspect a used cart. Again, go prepared. Take a 12-volt battery with you in case they try to give you the battery's not charged speech. Take C and D batteries in case the water heater batteries are dead. So you can give a good test for that. Make sure that they can put water in it. You want to run water through the system and a good tank of propane. You want to try out everything on the cart before you agree to buy it. If any of that stuff doesn't work, like I said, my water heater didn't work, and I had to replace the burners and the fuel line, and I had to put a new tire on this cart. So had I known all of this at the time, I could have negotiated the price down even lower than what I got. So just keep all of this stuff in mind. I hope this helps you. If you're looking to get a used cart, some places that you can go: Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, eBay. Even reach out to Ben's Carts, HotDogCartStore.com. I know he's drenched in this business, in this industry. So He may even have some used carts or slightly damaged new carts that he may be willing to sell you on a discount. So even reach out to him or other manufacturers and see if they might have any connections to get you into a cart cheaper than brand new. So these are all options for you. All the things that you should look for when you're buying a used cart. Again, the systems all work the same. The only difference is the design. The systems all work the same. They're going to use the same components. These are some of the things that you want to make sure that you look for so you have negotiating power and you make sure that you're getting a good deal. So that's going to be it for this one. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to post them down below. And we will see you next Monday at 6 o'clock.